No, let's see.
We're here.
We're here.
Oh. What's going on? You got it? There we go.
I'll take. Is it even?
Oh, we're good.
Take.
Eric, I really fucking appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me.
Hey, thank you.
We're fully motivated by White Claw right now. I really appreciate Eric bringing
White
that
Claw.
in. Cheers.
Always.
It tastes delicious. It tastes like Capri Sun, honestly.
Dude, it's water that gets you drunk. Like, all I do is drink water. Like, I don't really drink soda. I don't drink, when I do drink anything, I usually prefer whiskey. It's healthy for the beard and everything. But, I usually always just drink water. So people are like, yo, I've got this water drink that, gets you drunk. And I was like, what? What kind of witchcraft is this? Got myself a claw.
What is it percentage on this beast?
5%.
Okay, yeah, that's yeah. I was expecting that. That's good. It doesn't taste like that, that's for sure. So yeah, this is another part of this series. When I was doing the whole interviews, I kind of realized there's more to it. There's more people out there that are getting things done, and I love motivated people. So Eric, you've been an amazing person. I'm a fan of you, man. I like watching what you're doing. You're getting things done. The cool thing about it that I always like to stress to people, there's a difference between dreams and goals. Mm-hmm. You can always have dreams, but if you don't make practical steps to accomplish those dreams, you're not going to have these goals that you accomplish. So I really love watching you, man. You get a lot of things done, so it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's actually this old, I think it's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, I believe. And his definition of success is working towards a worthwhile idea.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing that, then you are successful because you're going towards goals.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's really, really cool. And
it's a really cool 30-minute just podcast, but this person made this spoken word back in, I believe it was the late 50s or if not 60s when this recording came out. And a lot of it is really relevant now. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I love all that type of shit, man. Seriously, I just feel like that kind of happens with a lot of people. They feel stuck, but if you just keep making small goals, even just smashing out small goals is really beneficial to a person and their feelings on the world, really. But that's really cool. So you have Fresh Prints, right? I'm sorry, Fresh Press.
Fresh Press, yeah.
Yeah, Fresh Press.
Yeah, Fresh Press.
Yeah, I love that. Your shirt company. You guys, you're doing a lot with that, dude. Seriously, let's talk about that for a minute here.
Fresh Press was started by Alex Adamczyk. He's the one that's the brains of the operations. And so when we were done doing our music stuff, we both kind of got into this limbo of okay, well, what do we do next? We still want to be involved with music. I was still doing the whole entire K&Z assisting thing back then, right as we started, and then Alex got himself a really good towers job, and he basically saved up money to invest, and so he invested in screen just pressing, but he got him into his garage, and so we would sit there, and he would be like, "All right, cool. I guess we're gonna learn screen printing." And
dive into it.
And so we've watched YouTube videos on our respective times. We both worked at the same screen, just the screen, just printing place, learning the ropes on hand of from all angles. Being awesome. Being like a prepper to being to actually printing it to being just catcher and seeing the actual details of when you're in each roles, how to look for things. Oh, yeah. So we learned all this. And then we ended up expanding Fresh Press out of the just garage into our own warehouse, where we facilitate a lot of local band merch. And so I'm kind of more like the broker face of Fresh Press that goes out and is like, hey, local bands, we can make really good quality merchandise items, because that's a great way that bands do make an income. And we've been seeing some of the posts on social media more recently, since this recording is going to be out, of While She Sleeps posted that merchandise thing. That's how bands make a lot of their money, which is true.
It is.
A lot of ways that bands make money is shows and touring and buying merchandise. That's how bands make a lot of their money. Yeah. So
honestly, in my opinion, that's kind of how I see bands should only make their money, from the merch that they sell, especially clothing. That's a huge thing. So that's really cool, because bands are always going to need that.
Oh yeah, and then and there's so many ways of also being in the spectrum of making merchandise and kind of getting a feel from all these merchandisers of all right, cool, you want to go with this garment if you're on a budget, but you want it to be nice, maybe we can go with this blend, okay. So how do you want to present yourself and your aesthetic as a band? Because there are bands that are killing it in the merch game. Like Silent Planet's a really great example of, they have a really good aesthetic live and they have a really good aesthetic on their merchandise.
Yeah.
But they always do the limited thing, which makes their items more exclusive, and people love exclusivity as consumers.
Right.
So if you can provide that through merch and then apply that towards your marketing, you can really build some quick band, just capital.
Yeah. You know what, on that, I kind of notice a lot with bands, they'll do specific tour shirts that they only release on that tour. So yeah, it's just that exclusivity that really catches people's eye, that they want to get it that much more. So that's cool. Let's kind of dive into. We kind of covered a bit how you got started, but how'd you get started?
Well, how'd I get started?
Yeah.
My humble beginnings of everything was when I was in high school, and I did a lot of graphic design classes as like my elective class. And so for extra credit, it was just make your own original artwork that wasn't part of our pieces. And so I would see a bunch of local bands in my high school at the time, promote shows. And so I'd say, hey, I'll make a flyer for you. I just want extra credit, so you don't have to pay me. I'm just wanting the extra credit. I'll make you yours.
You're like 16, 17 at this time?
I was 14 when I started.
Okay, cool. That's
so that was my first hustle in high school halls, was making you show flyers, and I got extra credit points.
Yeah, it's all an what's funny? It's advertising. It's advertising 101. You learn how to advertise and what people want to see. So even at fucking 13, 14, that's fucking amazing you're doing that shit, dude.
And then I saw friends of mine that had those horse-acre backyards, and so I would say, hey, is it cool if I like host a 2-3 band show? And so I would invite bands to my friend's house, and I would say, hey, nothing's gonna get broken, like we're only gonna do 2 or 3 sets, and then we're gonna split. And so I would walk around with a water jug with people to donate money while 2 or 3 bands would play, and then I would split out all of everyone's earnings, and then I'd say, here's your share, here's your share.
Awesome.
And then I would keep my share, and then I would eventually just save up all my money that I would do this, and then I would end up renting out amphitheaters at skate parks for like maybe 2 or 3 hours worth.
That's seriously huge, man.
Or I would do like a bunch of gym auditoriums. I'd rent those out, and I'd do shows like 2 or 3 bands most. Or I'd go to pizza joints and I'd rent out their place. And I was doing all this at 15.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro. At that age, I was still trying to figure out how to get in contact with promoters and get shows going. So for you to be like actually hosting and putting them together like that is really badass, dude. Seriously.
And then I started to evolve, and then I started to get more active in a band, and then that's where I'd start to really network. Because a lot of times people will be like, well, did you go to school for anything that you are just doing? No.
Yeah.
And would I advise going to school for music business and what I'm just doing? It can help, but would I recommend it? No, because it's all about networking.
Yeah.
Like that's honestly how you get started in all this is just by networking and what you're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly what this is. It's networking. I'm not going to video school or any sort of thing like that. I'm just doing it, and that's exactly what it is. If you want to, you can just build that experience from making mistakes, and that's almost even better in the long run.
Oh, it very much is, because it has its own different set of memories.
Yeah.
And so then I was in a band, but I was more active in like the behind the scenes and networking with the band's crew, with the TM, with the promoter, and just kind of picking their brains of like, how do these dynamics work to make this all work?
Yeah.
Like, how do you put this all together? Because it really, the more bigger you go, the more organized it has to be for it to look and feel big.
Yeah.
And so I was really dialed in and learning all that. So that's how I learned. I would just network and I'd pick their brains, and I would get tips on this incoming tour package coming through, or this is being talked about. So then I would go and I would hit up local promoters, and I would say, hey, I have this tip. Whether they had it in their email or not, I would be like, hey, here's this tip.
I really hate to cut you off, but that's my timer for the game already.
Damn, we already lost the game. I talked too
much. No, you were having some good-ass conversation there. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get this game ready for us. All right, cool. Well, you know a lot of music, my friends. So what I'm going to do right now...
Oh, man.
Is going to...
I'm very intimidated.
Let me put this mic back on. What I'm going to do right now is call out a band name, and you have to point it out. So the first band name is Sleeping with Sirens.
Sleeping with Sirens?
Oh, I thought that was going to be super hard for you. Okay. Disturbed.
Disturbed? I should definitely know this. Where are they? Where are those bastards at?
Oh, dude, 2 for 2. This is a hard one. Shine Down.
Shine Down? Ooh. Ooh, Shine Down. Okay. I'm gonna get this one, maybe. Shine Down.
Boop, boop. Oh, this one.
That was my second guess.
Dude. All right, here we go. 2 more here. Alkaline Trio.
Alkaline Trio?
Boo! Okay, this is probably the hardest one in my opinion. Evanescence.
Evanescence? Ooh. Oh my god. My friends are gonna roast me if I get this wrong. They're so gonna roast me.
Come on. Boop, boop. Bring to No, you were so close. This one right there. Yeah, hell yeah. That was awesome.
I'm about to get so roasted in all my friend groups now.
Dude, yes, Evanescence is going to hit you up personally.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Before I cut you off there, we were talking about getting everything going. But yeah, dude, that's awesome because you're starting at such a young age putting together these shows, and now you're selling out shows left and right, dude. I fucking love seeing that.
Yeah, and it's really fun. The overall process of how it all is really coming just together. It's very self-driven, and a lot. And when you start to do things really on your own, you build your own team, and then you find other like-minded people that all want to get involved in what you're doing to help out everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's motivated people being attracted to other motivated people. I love that. And especially with the bands that you're picking out. You're grabbing these certain bands that are making moves, and I love seeing that, dude. It's really, really cool.